What is up, everyone? All right, so I'm actually in a little bit higher spirits today because I honestly don't know because good things don't really happen that often. But I have to focus on the good things that do happen. I don't know. The world is confusing. I wanted to take this time to actually talk about anime conventions because I used to watching my older videos. A lot of them took place at anime conventions. I was actually really big fan of going to anime conventions and making friends and doing things. I want like so yeah. This is definitely an episode dedicated to that. First off, obviously I am a fan of anime. It definitely kind of comes with the part of going to anime conventions. And it wasn't that I was a fan of anime like, everybody else is. It was like, oh my god, Goku is my favorite character. Every fight scene is relevant, but nothing else is. I'm not that type of fan. I was the type of fan who will watch stuff and overthink it and rabbit hole it and kind of try to go past the surface. I remember watching Bleach and just wondering what the occult and the paranormal is like. Like, watching Bleach made me question stuff about the afterlife. Watching Dragon Ball Z made me question stuff about space. Watching Gundam Wing made me actually question both. Like, why don't we have like, space colonies on Earth? Like don't we have the technology? Are we not smart enough to do this stuff? But I digress. Going to anime conventions, I actually thought that I was going to be among my peers who would have these types of conversations with me, and that was not the case. Every single time I looked up, it was just people talking about who would win in a fight against dot dot dot, and it's like imagine having that type of conversation for like 3 hours. It's like I want to talk about how cool space is. I almost never go to anime conventions to like really like gawk at the cosplayers because all the cosplayers are really talented people, and that goes without saying. But like every so often, it's like either talent, money, or looks, and it's like at some point it becomes less about like it's for some is artwork, for others is basically modeling, like on. And I just it's easier for me to just like going to a convention to ogle the female cosplayers, which by the way I think is really creepy. I think it's really creepy when a dude goes to any convention just so they could like, because like when you go to a convention, obviously Japanese anime writers and artists and stuff like that, they're all dudes. So it's like, of course they're gonna draw all these hot chicks with voluptuous bodies and scantily clad clothing because they're dudes and they're stimulated all the time. So obviously to stay loyal to the work, the cosplayers are going to dress like said characters, and that's going to be it. I honestly have no idea what baits me, and I'm looking at the shirt right now, and it's like I didn't want to wear this shirt, but I'm wearing it. Whatever. But yeah, like the thing I don't do, but yeah, I don't go to anime conventions to kind of like I'm not gonna say interact with the cosplayers because I do like interacting with the cosplayers. I do like joking about with them, taking little funny videos, taking little funny pictures, and giving people props on their cosplay. But that's not what I go to anime conventions for. I go there so I can try to encounter as many industry guests as logically possible because I'm trying to get into the industry. I'm trying to become a voice actor, throw my voice out there and do some things. At least before COVID hit and just completely ruined whatever bit of voice acting career I may have. I mean, sure, I talk a lot, but I used to be able to change my voice and actually sound like characters. I used to be, Montgomery Burns, excellent. Mo Sislak from the bar. But yeah, I try my best to sort of interact with as many industry guests as possible, just so I can kind of get in and figure out specifically what it is that I need to do to get in. And a lot of the times, the answer is always, get involved in like local theater or get involved in like being like in local film or whatever, and you'll get recognized that way. So it's basically play the game until you get picked out. It's a lot like sports. You do a lot in the smaller circuits until you get discovered for your talent or whatever. So it's like, man, that's a challenge for me because I am black, I am poor, and I'm black, I am poor, and I look like this. So no director is like going, that's the face that we want to see on television because It's not even negative. It's not even negativity. It's just I know I have an idea how shallow people think. I know how shallow people look at me. So you have to have an open mind to sort of tolerate seeing this, and I get that. That's why I have such a low viewer count. But yeah, I do go to conventions to try to interact with like industry guests. I also like to go to panels and just sort of sit down and just learn things. Like I say, I don't go there to go crazy about like I don't go there to go crazy for anything. It's just I just go there to either A, learn, or B, interact. And there's some really nice people at conventions too. Also, another big reason why I go to anime conventions, and this is a big one, I love to rave. My every day, almost every other day of my life has been devoted into going to work. And like I don't go clubbing. I don't go clubbing. I don't go partying. I don't do anything. My whole schedule for like more than half my life has always been wake up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Wake up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Wake up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. After a while, it just gets frustrating. It's like all I want to do is just like, and I like dancing. I'm a terrible dancer, but I love to dance. So, you know, I love to be able to just sort of let loose and go a little nuts once in a while because I rarely ever get the opportunity to do that. And convention raves are the best place to go to do that, at least for me anyway. So like, yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. You just in this dark room, you listen to this crazy music, and it's a dark room, so it's a judgment-free zone. So you could dance terribly, and it just wouldn't matter. It's a good feeling. I think the only downsides for going to anime conventions for me is that I never have a room, so I always kind of need to room with somebody else. Man, I'm not sick either. I ate an apple earlier, the apple core. But yeah, so I'll never have a room, so I always have to kind of like look for a room for other people. Like back in the day, when I used to go to the conventions like heavy, like I would either A, room with friends, or B, or B, like it would take place in my hometown, so I could like just go to the convention and then just drive home for the night. Or C, I would like hang out with somebody who just happened to live in the town. They would go there and they would drive me back. We just crash at their place and like do some late night, video game trivia, blah blah blah, whatever. I appreciate that, by the way, Mrs. Morris. But it was just like a lot of it was just simple stuff back then. So that was what it was back in the day. Like nowadays, like I need the money because I need the room, and inflation has popped up, so it's just a lot more expensive. Another thing too is that like a lot of friends that I made at conventions, clearly we've grown distant. So so it's like it won't feel the same when I go to a convention, and it's like I don't see my friends anymore, or I see people who I used to be friends with who I'm not friends with anymore because of politics. The Louisiana anime scene is ridiculously conservative, which is kind of sad for me. And I mean, granted, I understand, but still kind of frustrating. But yeah, but I do like going to anime conventions though. It was like always one of my favorite things to do. I love going and seeing these. I love going there and seeing like just being able to just sort of be in an atmosphere where I feel like not so outcasted, you know. But it's really expensive, man. It's oh my god, super expensive. Um, what else is there? Yeah, no, like I do like being able to like go to conventions and kind of see like anime announcements and things like that too. It's always cool to kind of like go to the panels where the voice actors kind of get together and they read lines from a show that they did. my favorite my favorite and least favorite convention that I went to was MechaCon. I don't remember which one it was. It was the one where the Power Rangers were there, but it had uh It had, I want to say, Rocky, Zach, Aisha, Tommy. I want to say Johnny Young Bosch was there also. No, he wasn't. Was he there? And David Yost was there though. David Yost was definitely there. I remember that because David Yost let a brother hug him. But I remember being really excited for that. And fun fact about that store. Fun fact about that convention. Like I said, it's my favorite one because one time, like when I got there, when I had got there, I was headed to the hotel and Walter Jones, who plays Zach, basically kind of gave me this look like I recognize you. We never met before. I'm walking to the thing. He's walking like obviously where he's going to. We interact with each other for a little bit, and we had to we were like best friends. We haven't seen each other in months. Obviously I'm gonna recognize him, but I didn't think he was gonna give me he just gave me this look, and we're conversing like friends for like a brief moment. This is my first time meeting him in person, so and I just remember telling him, one of the things that really kind of like stuck me, like really sort of attached me to you, was that your middle name is Emmanuel and my name is Emmanuel. It's like, it's I always felt this connection when I saw you on TV. It just really makes me feel, it really made me feel like recognized and stuff like that. And we just had this little chat. I had a chat with Walter Jones, and like this was like right before I even go to the hotel. So it's like, man, this is gonna be cool. Bulk and Skull are also really cool people, by the way. They really are. They're funny. And they're funny and madly talented, by the way. It's just really, it's like they actually do be dropping gems on, the acting industry in general. So it's kind of dope to see that. The reason why it is my least favorite convention, though, was because I got into my first serious car accident coming back from New Orleans to Baton Rouge from that specific convention. I went there. And the convention, I went there, and I'm guessing some lady decided to try to make a left turn on the spillway. The joke is that like the spillway is one big bridge, so you can only go one direction. So you can't make a left turn unless you want to go into the water. But some lady decided to try to make a left turn on the spillway, and I ended up underneath her car. The most annoying part about this was that I had to go to court for it, even though I didn't have to go to court for it. So it was like, because I got there and it was like, oh, I thought we sent you the letter saying that you didn't have to come to this. And it's like, I mean, it's not a short trip to New Orleans from Baton Rouge, man. It really isn't. It's a long trip. So we went all the way over there just to be told that, like, I didn't even have to do this stuff. And not only that, but it's like, my car is totaled, her car is fine, but I'm the one who has to go to court. Did she have to go to court too? I didn't ask that question though, but rich white lady. I literally saw her in the window. She was like, she literally looked at me and went. I'm just sitting here like, lady, my literal front of my car is gone, and you're the one faking the injury. In any case, I didn't freak out. Although I should have peed myself that day. Probably would have got a little bit more money. Rethinking that, just revisiting that just makes me so angry. But I got a chance to interact with Zach and Aisha on the same day. So I'm happy about that. Got a chance to tell Karen Ashley that she was my childhood crush back then. And get turned down from a marriage proposal. I'm okay with that. We only just met like for 5 seconds. I only got the microphone. I had to ask, so there was that. I was a dumber kid back then. I hate my smile. But yeah, that was. But yeah, like yeah, that was easily like that was my MechaCon experience. I have a lot more convention stories. I at least if I can remember them anyway. There's a bunch of them. But yeah, anime conventions, I truly enjoy like doing that or being a part of it or seeing it, because it was just, it's a chance for me to get it. It's the one chance out of the year that I get a chance to just sort of be me, or at least be a little bit happier than I am allowed to be throughout my life, you know? It's like, if I'm allowed, it's like, you know, if this is some one moment where I get a chance to have fun, then by cracky, I'm going to have some fun by going to panels and trying to network with industry guests. What can I say? That's how I have fun, man. But that's it. This video is 15 minutes long. Love and peace and safety to everyone out there, and y'all take it easy.